We'll go back to the Messi discussion and the debate now. We'll take up a large chunk of this part talking about a phenomenal player that he is. And Cavi, we heard there from Gary over in Barcelona. A lot of supporters on Twitter asking us today, what are his chances of coming to the Premier League?
Well, if we're talking about Premier League, there are potentially very few clubs who could afford to finance a deal for him. Obviously, the club that everyone is talking about is Manchester City. Now, the information I have is that he would be happy to play for Manchester City, but that does not mean that he is going to become a Manchester City player. What we're hearing is that as far as Manchester City are concerned, there's still a very, very good chance that he could remain at Barcelona this summer. But why do people think that he could become a Manchester City player? Simply because the connections he has with people who are at City now. I'm thinking of the director of football. I'm thinking of the chief executive. I'm thinking of Pep Guardiola. These are all people he worked with at Barcelona. And significantly, City, of course, with the backing that they have the finances to be able to do a deal. But again, I would stress that that does not mean that he's going to become a Manchester City player. There's a feeling at City that this is part of a power play between the player and the president at Barcelona. And I think it's safe to say that at the moment, City are taking an interest in what is happening and watching the developments. There have been reports, for instance, that representatives of Manchester City have already met with Lionel Messi's father last week. We're being told that that is not the case. And the final point to make as far as City are concerned, of course, is they have to be very mindful of financial fair play considerations if they were to sign him. The next Premier League club, Manchester United. No comment from them as far as any potential move for Lionel Messi is concerned. Our information, especially from Dharmesh, is that their number one target remains Jadon Sancho. But, of course, potentially, Manchester United do have the finances to be able to do a deal. And it is quite interesting because the Glazer family, who own Manchester United, they also own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And just a few months ago, they put a deal together to sign Tom Brady, who is, I suppose, the NFL equivalent of Lionel Messi. So they have the finances to be able to do a deal. Liverpool, could he possibly go there? We're being told if Lionel was available, Liverpool's level of interest in him would be less than zero. So he's not going to Anfield. And finally, Chelsea. Well, we all know Roman Abramovich has always wanted to have Lionel Messi at Stamford Bridge. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because as I said a few minutes ago, if you look at all the players that Chelsea have already signed, Chilwell, Werner, Havertz on his way, Ziyech and the other players they want to sign, I've never heard Lionel Messi be mentioned as a Chelsea target this summer. But potentially, Roman Abramovich has the money to do the deal.
What about outside of England?
Outside of England, PSG, we've seen what they've done in the past. Neymar, they paid £200 million to get him. Mbappe, they paid £166 million to get him. They have the finances to do the deal, but all the noises coming out of Paris at the moment is that their manager, Thomas Tuchel, he wants to strengthen his defence. Although, on paper, imagine having a front three of Neymar, Mbappe and Messi. I don't think Tuchel would say no to that. Inter Milan is also another option. Their Chinese owner, his dream has been to have Lionel Messi at the club. Antonio Conte, the manager there, had a meeting with the owners yesterday. There was some talk that he may leave Inter, but he's staying at Inter. One thing that is intriguing about Inter and Lionel Messi is the tax situation for foreign players, superstar foreign players in Italy. They only have to pay 25% tax on their earnings, which is one of the reasons why Cristiano Ronaldo has gone to Juventus. So potentially that could be something that would attract Lionel Messi to Inter Milan. Other clubs, we're being told Juventus, no interest. Bayern Munich, no interest. The Middle East, he could possibly go to, but there's a feeling that he's still got a few years left in him at the top level in European football. The same goes for MLS, for instance, Inter Miami. They're more likely to try and sign Luis Suarez this summer. And the final point I would make is, could he possibly go back to Argentina? He's never played in the Argentinian First Division. He's always said that one day he would like to go back there. Could he go back to where it all started, Newell's Old Boys? I think, again, it's a bit too early. I think he's got a few more years left in him in top-level football in Europe.
I've been trying to gauge reaction within the game since the news emerged last night, and just to give you an idea of just how divided the footballing world is on this, a couple of texts, he's going to stay. A couple of texts, I think he's going to go. The feeling from some top European clubs is that this is a bit of a power play. This is something that Messi is trying to do to try to engineer change at the top. But I did text one former Premier League club boss and I said, come on, what do you think? What do you think what's going on? And he just replied one word, Messi, M-E-S-S-Y. Which was very good, quite amusing, but probably sums it up neatly. Dharmesh, what do you think in terms of how do you think Messi wants this all to end?
Look, as Kaveh alluded to there, there's so much noise around Lionel Messi, so many people with so many different opinions. You talk about the text that you were receiving yesterday. It's worth clarifying just where we stand with this. Look, he has told Barcelona he wants to leave, number one. He's got 1 year left of his contract. Well, he's entered the final year of his contract. That contract contains a €700 million release clause. It also contains a clause whereby Messi can leave for free at the end of a season. Herein lies the issue. Barcelona believe the clause is still active. The period where he could exercise a free move has expired as far as they're concerned. Messi's camp, however, they see things rather differently. The pandemic meant that the season was, of course, extended, and they believe that that clause still stands, so he can leave for free. Now, it's very interesting. We're talking about everyone having their say. The former Barcelona president, Joan Gaspart, has had his say, and he's been very to the point. He claims to have seen Lionel Messi's contract, and he says Messi cannot leave for free. If that's the case, we then go into how much all of this episode basically has damaged the relationship between Barcelona and Lionel Messi. Will Barca say €700 million or you stay? Or will they compromise on any kind of release clause as a price to say, we let you go for a little bit less because of the service, the fantastic service you have given this club? The other issue here is, what is Messi's motivation to leave? Is it purely footballing reasons? We're talking about the clubs he could go to, or part of a power play, which you alluded to in your question. Let's look at the football side first of all. 6 of the starting 11 against Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarter-finals were above 31 years of age. They got humiliated 8-2, of course. With that in mind, how long would a rebuild at Barcelona take? And furthermore, is Messi then prepared to spend the final few years of his career at a club which it effectively would be in transition? There have been times, you'll remember, when Messi has questioned his future at Barcelona, but it is clear that there's never been as serious a will to leave as there is right now. The other angle, we talked about it yesterday, we're talking about it now, is a political one. Is this a political ploy from Lionel Messi, a part of a power play? The presidential elections at Barcelona, they become so dominant at that football club, don't they? They're in March, and a candidate for the role is a gentleman called Victor Font. He has said the only way that Lionel Messi stays at Barcelona is if the current president, Jose Maria Bartomeu, resigns. Now, if he's elected, Font will put Xavi in charge of the football team. No more Ronald Koeman. On the face of it, Xavi's presence will be a positive influence for Lionel Messi. Old teammates, they won everything that there's possible to win at Barcelona. But it wouldn't immediately address what are perceived to be big on-field issues at Barcelona. There is no guarantee Xavi comes in and suddenly everything is all right at the new camp. It just simply might not work like that. Will he have an instant impact? That's the question. So, with all of that in mind, it seems for now that Messi's decision is based on footballing reasons. The Bayern defeat was 12 days ago. If that was a knee-jerk reaction, we might have heard the day after. He's obviously thought about this. And 12 days after that defeat has decided, I want to leave. Add to that other factors. Luis Suarez is a good friend, almost a best friend to Lionel Messi, effectively being told he is not part of Ronald Koeman's plans. that can only have added negatively to Lionel Messi's mindset, aiding him to come to a decision like the one he's come to.
We could talk about Messi for hours.